This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of the top 3 NASCAR series, run them through the N ratings algorithm, set them up by their provisional lineup, and see what the computer says will be the finishing order on race day. Trucks were first on the track yesterday, and it was Ryan Preece who was first to the line, upsetting the playoff drivers, as was Parker Kligerman in second place, Stuart Friesen, Ben Rhodes, and Matt Crafton making up that top 5. Disappointing days for Majeski, Enfinger, and Eckes, just finishing inside the top 20. Fortunately for Majeski, he is already in with a victory. We'll see how those finishes shake up the playoff field heading into Phoenix. And in the Xfinity Series, their round of 8, second race, would be taken by Trevor Bayne. Ty Gibbs, Noah Gragson, Josh Berry, Sam Mayer making up that top 5. 6 of the remaining 8 playoff drivers inside the top 10, but 2 were not. Brandon Jones and AJ Allmendinger having their own issues. They would finish near the back of the field, a big blow to their chances to make the championship 4. Now it is time for the Cup event. William Byron and Christopher Bell out in front. 2 playoff drivers looking to make their way into the championship for the green flag out here at Homestead. Bell getting a lot better jump on the initial start than Byron. 24 car slotted back to third, and they're going to be fighting for that outside wall all race long, and Byron now being split. Ty Gibbs to his outside, Chase Elliott to his inside. And we have to mention right away that Bubba Wallace not a part of this race after his retaliation on Kyle Larson at Las Vegas. John Hunter Nemechek driving the 45 and battling for the lead with a driver that was taken out in that incident. Christopher Bell impacts his playoff potential. He is at the back of the playoff grid. Tyler Reddick has been stellar in his 2 appearances at this racetrack, and obviously he's won a couple of championships when this was the final race of the Xfinity season. Trying to see if that can parlay into a decent result here, even though he's not a part of the playoffs anymore. Denny Hamlin, a 3-time winner at this track. Did it in 2009 and 2013, but those were years that obviously we did not have the current playoff system, and then did it again in 2020 when that race was in June. 12 top 5s at Homestead for Kevin Harvick, and also a victory in 2014, the year he won his title, and that was obviously the first year also that they had the 4-driver shootout for the title. Martin Truex Jr., 11 top 10s here. He's also grabbed a victory here that got him a championship, that coming in 2017. Looking for a good result here. Looks like he just dropped outside the top 10. And Kyle Busch leading the way on laps led, 465 circuits where he was up front. Currently the person that's up front is Austin Cindric. Get himself out of a pretty decent lead, but he will be the first one to come down for a green flag pit stop just before the end of stage 1. We'll see Ross Chastain be one of the first playoff drivers to come down, that number 1 car. Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin also coming down just a little bit later, and we'll have Kyle Larson bringing up the rear. He took the lead over for a little bit. We'll try to stretch it out, but it looks like Cindric will be able to re-inherit the lead, and he will end up taking this stage. So Austin Cindric in that pink number 2 car gets a stage 1 win. Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson make up the top 5. Denny Hamlin, the only other playoff driver in this top 10 getting stage points. John Hunter Nemechek in that 45 substitute role. He's 7th on the board. Get to the restart. It looks like Cindric spun his tires. Chastain really gets out in front, and Denny Hamlin's going to try to follow him. Once the restart shakes out, it will be Joey Logano that makes his way to the front, and ironically, this is how the top 2 looks like in the last race. It was Joey Logano followed by Ross Chastain, and then Kyle Busch finished 3rd. Is just a little bit behind, trying to make the pass for 3rd. William Byron won the last time we were here at Homestead as he makes contact with the wall, trying to make a pass on the 45. Bit of a wall rub there, and that's kind of the danger of running up high, and believe it or not, this is the first time we've run at Homestead since late February, when they had moved that race for 2021. Moved it back into the playoffs this year. Chase Briscoe looking for a better run. He and Byron are just really struggling right now. Looks like they are off the lead lap, and this is going to be an issue for them, trying to make a move into the Final 4. We have a problem here for Ryan Blaney. This is not a scheduled stop. He's coming down to pit lane. We will see if he's going to be able to get back out on the racetrack. No, he is not. He has an engine problem. He is going to the garage, and that is a big blow for Blaney. He was 11 points below the cut line coming into this race, and no one else has dropped out so far, so he is going to end up finishing last. Massive hit for Blaney's chances, going to make it a must-win situation at Martinsville. Meanwhile, we've been seeing these green flag pit stop cycle. These are all scheduled, and they are just taking place before the end of Stage 2, and Joey Logano will end up taking the stage, followed by Ross Chastain, Truex Jr., Bell, and McDowell up in the top 5, and Hamlin getting those other stage points as well. Blaney now out of the race, and now out of contention to get even more points. He'll end up the day with 1 point, and he never earned stage points in Stage 1 either. So Logano will take the restart with Chastain, who was outside. Chastain trying to make sure he can get into this championship 4, comes into this race 18 points above the cut line and grabbed a very solid second place run at Las Vegas, but he hasn't won since Talladega earlier in the year. At the moment, he's trying to fight the 22 car for the lead. Looks like the 22 of Logano will prevail. We see the 11 car making a charge. He came down the pit lane during the caution for the stage, got fresh tires, and he's making a charge now to take one of his laps back. And he is back now on the lead lap. Chase Elliott probably not feeling as stable as he did after his stellar regular season. Currently 10th position, 1 lap down. But he comes into this race 17 points above the cut line. However, one bad finish can really derail your chances at the championship 4. Just look at what Ryan Blaney just had. We're starting to see these green flag pit stops. He should be the last ones of the race. Logano comes in, Bell comes in, here comes Chastain. And we're starting to see some different pit strategies because obviously the 11 car came down during the stage break, so he's going to stay out a little bit longer. But look at the difference that tires make. The same way that Hamlin passed Logano, now the 22 car is doing the same to him. So Hamlin's going to fade back. He has yet to make his pit stop, and he'll lose the lead on the racetrack. Christopher Bell taken out in that incident between Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson. Puts him in a massive gap and trying to go for the win. He is having a solid day, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a race-winning day. Logano going off to a massive lead, but looks like Chastain is starting to pull him back in after that round of pit stops. The 1 car sneaking closer and closer to the 22 car, and here he comes. With just a dozen laps left in the race, the 1 car going to the outside, riding the wall, and going to try to make the move on Logano. Side by side down the front stretch, but with the outside line, it looks like the 1 car is going to be able to do it. Chastain to the lead. And now he hit the white flag lap. Chastain, as we mentioned, hasn't won since Talladega. Also got the victory at Circuit of the Americas, looking for that intermediate win. And that would move him on to Phoenix. Logano already had that win after he got it at Vegas. And now it is Chastain looking for his ticket into the Championship 4. Going down the backstretch, he has gotten off to a pretty good lead over the 22 car. Even with the lap traffic in front of him, looks like Chastain is going to be able to take this one. To the inside, the 1 car goes, and down the front stretch, Chastain is going to lock himself into the Championship 4 here at Homestead. And so now we have 2 drivers that are going to be competing at Phoenix. We'll have 2 more to name next week at Martinsville. One of them might be a winner. They might both be on points. Depends on how that race plays out. We see Chastain at the top of the board. Joey Logano will come home in second place, 3 seconds back. Martin Truex Jr. gets the 3rd place run. Austin Cindric, who won Stage 1 in 4th. And Noah Gragson, how about his run? He finishes 5th in substitute for Alex Bowman. Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott also finishing up there inside the top 10. Denny Hamlin unable to make it happen. He ends up in the 14th position, which is going to be a little bit better than some of the other playoff drivers, but wanted to make sure that he was definitely going to be in contention at the end. Kyle Larson, who was up there for a good chunk of the first stage, ends up back in 16th position. We'll also note that John Hunter Nemechek, taking the place of Bubba Wallace this week, ends up in the 17th spot. Chase Elliott and William Byron outside the top 20. Not the days they wanted, but definitely not the day that Ryan Blaney wanted. 36th position for him, the only driver to drop out after a mechanical issue on his race car. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed the race, and we will see you all next time.